Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, friends, to another episode of Crazy Women Country. I'm Donna, and today I am here with the talented Parker Graye. How are you doing?
I'm so great. Thank you so much for having me, Donna.
It's my pleasure. I'm so glad we could make it from across the, time zones. I can't wait to be in your time zone in a few months.
It's going to be the best. But yes, thank you so much. I'm very excited just to chat with you. It's going to be great.
Oh, this is so awesome. So I know I'm not going to talk too much about the weather since we already did that off camera, but it's nice to know that the Pacific Northwest and into Canada is nice and normal in their springish weather.
We've turned a corner for sure.
Florida's hot and getting muggier as we hit the summertime and rainy season. So we don't have typical seasons in Florida. Rainy season, love bug season, tourist season, spring training season. That's what we have. And that's summer all year long.
It's a different world over there. Different world.
Definitely. So we love to start off with the most difficult question.
Can't wait.
Who is Parker Graye?
Well, I am a singer-songwriter, country singer-songwriter based here in Vancouver, BC. I'm making the move to Nashville very soon, which I'm very excited about. I am on a mission to make country music sad again. I love sad songs, and I love what sad songs make people feel and how they can be the thing that makes you feel much less lonely in a moment of grief and sadness. And then I think the coolest part about it that nobody talks about is, you can listen to a sad song that was relevant at a certain time, like 6-8 months, a year later, and you'll be catapulted back to that same time and space, but you get to reflect on kind of how far you've come, which I think a lot of people don't think about with sad songs. And that to me is super special. So I love writing sad songs. I'm super inspired by the crazy, wild, bad relationships that I have. And they are the catalyst for everything that's been written and is being written. But yeah, I love sad songs, and I love writing music, and I'm just pretty dang grateful to have the opportunity to do this. It's too cool. It's so cool. Just a little Canadian out here writing music.
Well, I'm glad you write music because you have some amazing music out.
Thank you.
Speaking of amazing music, let's go to your latest release. Let's talk about that. Who's Lying Here? So should I ask, was this a catalyst from one of your relationships, and what triggered it?
So what's so crazy about this one is at the time, I had been down in Nashville, and I was in a room with my producer, Kate, and Marla Cannon-Goodman, who is just a monster songwriter. She's incredible. And I was actually in a happy relationship, which was very weird for me. And it was a weird space to be in. And Marla came into the room with the idea and the hook. And I love a double meaning always. So this was amazing. But what was interesting was at the time that I was in that writing camp, my relationship started to just take a turn. And the song it meant a lot to me in the moment. I really loved the song and it was great. And I was yeah, I'll probably cut this at some point, but I don't know when. And then about 4 months later, I found out that the person I was dating was cheating on me the entire time, which is what Who's Lying Here is all about. And about somebody who you can be beside who isn't telling you the full truth, and deep down that something's wrong, but you're not really doing anything about it for whatever reason, whether it's you're afraid to be alone, or you really love that person, or you think that there's this inkling of hope with that person. So in a weird roundabout way, it was about somebody, but I didn't even know who it was about. So I've done this twice now. My Before You Leave, I did the same thing where we wrote the song, and then I pretty much predicted the breakup 6 months later. And then this one happened. So maybe maybe I need to listen to my songs a little bit more closely to see what's coming. I don't know.
It's
Um,
a good future forecast of no songs I'm seeing, huh?
it's kind of funny, but yeah, it's a really special song, and it's sonically in all of the stuff that's kind of happened and what's coming. I wanted to like take people to like a time and place similar to like the concept of sad songs that I love.
Mhm.
And at the beginning of it, there's like sounds of a bar. And when we wrote this song, I was like, oh, it just makes me think of like a dingy dive bar and this like lonely singer that nobody's really listening to because everyone's like got a pretty rough buzz on. And she's just like so heartbroken and lonely and singing her sad songs to like essentially nobody. So we implemented throughout the song, you can kind of hear it that there's this sound of like people talking in a bar.
Yeah.
And it's really cool, and I'm so happy with it. I like, and the response has been amazing. So I'm stoked people love it because it's a special one for sure.
I'm really glad you mentioned that because I was listening and I'm like, wait, the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, I didn't realize that, the bar background sounds like you, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
it's really cool.
there's another song we did it. It's like whistly and it's like very westerny. And then another song that's coming is we sampled birds outside of the studio. And
That's
so
cool.
the intro of the song has all these amazing birds from East Nashville. Um, yeah, so it's this I just really like to take people to a place before the song starts. So it gives you a different kind of like story. But yeah, it's special. It's definitely a special one.
I love it. I love that you do that with your songs. That's great
Thanks.
because it's something
Thanks.
different, something uniquely you, and.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, it's something to talk about at the end of the day.
Well, it's great. I think it makes it unique. So that's
Thank
what makes it
you.
memorable, right?
Appreciate that so much.
So tell me, who are some of the women that inspire you?
Oh goodness. Oh, so many. I feel like every female songwriter I've ever worked with in Nashville and in Canada, I've just am surrounded by this incredible group of women right now. Um, but in terms of artists, I love Maren Morris. What Kelsey Ballerini is doing right now is insane and incredible.
Mhm.
I mean, growing up, it was Shania Twain and Faith Hill and Reba and um, like Leanne Rhymes, and now
Mhm.
it's like Brandy Carlisle and Cam and Carly Pierce and Maren, and it's it's been mostly women in the last little bit, which has been really cool. And I think that what we're seeing in country music with this uprising of female talent and charting, like women that are charting, I'm like, finally, it's happening. Um, so yeah, I'd say those ladies. I mean, there's so many. I could list for like 10 years and have like little things about each one. Gosh, we're lucky.
Mhm. Absolutely. And I think it's finally starting to change, as you mentioned. It's been,
Mhm.
back in the early aughts, there was about 30% women on radio airplay, 35 even. So I'm like, okay, so that's decent from what was, in the 90s there too.
Yep.
But it went down fast and it's been under 10 to 12% in most radio stations and big radio stations too. And
Yeah.
so it is
I
so
know.
great to see.
I really hope that things start to shift. And I think that, I mean, obviously, women have a space in the industry. Like, that's not even a
Yes.
question. Um, but I hope that the current trajectory that we're on, where we're seeing things change, I really hope that that continues on that path because
Yeah.
there's a lot
And
of
I hope
incredibly talented women.
the, the old school philosophy of, women don't make the money, the men make the money, that kind of changes too in the industry a bit. Because I
Yep.
think if they start changing that mentality and just, take a couple steps back from the good old boys club and invite some women in, it'll be
Hell
a
yeah.
whole different ball game. And
And I think
yeah,
we're
you'll
seeing
see.
yeah, and we are seeing a lot more executives get hired, um, female executives get hired in a
Mhm.
lot of like the labels and the publishing side of things. And I love seeing that and just like the representation and the men in the industry is also like lifting up these female
Yes.
voices
Mhm.
and people. And yeah,
Yeah,
I just want to see it happen because there's a lot of
absolutely.
opportunity out there.
I think, people that say that there's not enough room for anyone, it's just the wrong mentality. I think there's enough
It
room
is.
for everyone. Like, I hate to say
Yep.
it, but there is. I mean,
No,
not
there
everyone
is.
does the same. Not everyone's in the same lane. I think I don't know if you watched the iHeart Awards.
Mhm.
Pink had said, that was my lane. I stayed in it. I didn't go in anyone else's lane. I just did my lane. And, and that was just a great, analogy to
Yep.
use in that sense of,
Yep. There's
so,
already a Taylor Swift. There's already a Carly Pierce. There's already a Shania. Like you have to be authentic and genuine to what you're
yeah.
producing and what you want to talk about. And that's something that I've definitely held tight since the beginning. And I'm like, this is what I do and this is how I do it. And you either like it or you don't. Like it or lump it. Like that's who I am.
Oh. So, would you like to do our 13 crazy questions?
Let's go, baby.
Okay.
I'm
First up,
sweating
tell me.
already. What? Sorry, say
There,
that again.
there, there's no nervousness in this. Is it? Do the,
No,
the
I'm
star
just
pose or the
just
star pose,
the
heart of the universe,
awkward.
whatever. Yeah, the Wonder Woman pose, whatever some people call the Wonder Woman. Yeah. Okay. Tell me, do you have any guilty pleasure music that you listen to? And if so, what is it?
Oh, interesting. No, no. I no. I think that I'm trying to find something.
No Baby Shark on your iPod, when you're having a bad day, you just want to be happy instead of embrace the
No,
sadness of the sad songs.
no, like I'm pretty ruthless when it comes to music. Like I don't care what people think in that regard.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what I like. I love it
Mhm.
all. Like, I mean, I'm not one of those people that like secretly listens to metal by myself. Like, there's nothing like that going on. Um, I mean, I feel like most people are gonna be like, yeah, Dear John by Taylor Swift. And I'd be like, and I would be like screaming it from the front row. So there's nothing that's like a guilty pleasure. I feel like I go
Okay.
back to a lot of like it maybe this is a guilty pleasure, but not. I listen to a lot of 2000s hip hop and rap. I like grew up snowboarding and listened to all of the rap in the world. So I can rap a lot of that music, which that talent doesn't come out very often, if ever. But maybe that, I don't know. It's a
I
tough
feel
one.
like that might be coming up in some kind of country rap version of a
You know what?
song.
Probably.
Yeah.
People would be like, no, get out of here.
I just want to come up when you're in Nashville recording that and writing that and stuff and just hang out. That's all.
Yeah,
I don't even
sure.
need to be, but I just want to hang out and just sit back and just enjoy the moment.
You'll get a
Oh,
front row seat. Don't worry.
oh, thank you. Appreciate it. So tell me, or actually, don't tell me. Finish this line. Today,
Okay.
my favorite song is.
Ooh. Today my favorite song is Blindsided by Kelsey Ballerini.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah. That's been like on heavy, that whole EP has been on heavy rotation, but that one specifically.
Tell me the best concert you've attended.
Oh, best concert I've attended. Oh, a couple of years ago, I saw Dermot Kennedy at this one
Mhm.
arena here, and it was like I just cried the whole time. Like I love him. Like there is like a very soft place in my heart for him. And I cried the entire show. I sang along and I cried the entire time. Um, I think that's honestly been the last live show that I've seen, and that was years ago. Like in terms of not your typical like Nashville like writers
Mhm.
round or whatever, but like proper
Yeah.
concert. Yeah, I'd have to say that. Oh, it was so loved it.
Oh, it's funny. I always joke. I say that like the small venues, especially even here in Florida, I love going to those. And it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be big names. In fact, way before anyone knew Ashley McBride, I heard she was
Mm,
coming and I'm like, hey, everyone, we got to go. And everyone's looking at me like I'm nuts. I'm like, but Ashley's going to be there. And they're all like looking at me like, who? I'm like, just
yeah.
go. You're going to like her. And
Yeah.
I turned quite a few people onto her that night. They're like, oh my God, she's great. I'm like, yeah, see, I told you, listen to me.
Told ya.
Trying
I
to help
saw
you.
Right. I saw Donovan Woods at a smaller venue here in Vancouver, and it was a
Yeah.
seated show. And it was just him and
Nice.
his guitar. And then the second night, he did a full band show. But I was on the acoustic night, and I went by myself, and I just sat there. And it was like the most spectacular thing ever because it was a small venue. And like
Mhm.
everyone was like fully there for the show. No phones were out. Like it was insane. I guess I have seen a show since the Dermot show, but those small intimate venues, I think there's just something energetically that is like, oh, like you just feel like
Yeah.
you're right there with them. It's the
Mhm.
best.
Absolutely. And sometimes it feels like, okay, you go back to then, for me, if you go back to those years, like when you had your neighborhood band that would practice or whatever, and you'd be like, yeah, come on over, we're practicing, and you just hang out. And
Yeah,
it's just like, yeah, good
it's
stuff.
cool. I love that.
So, can you recommend some albums, artists, songs, whatever, for our audience that they need to listen to?
Ooh, there's a folk artist by the name of Luca Fogale, who I actually wrote last time with. He just released a new record and he has a song called Evergreen, and it is like everything that this man sings is just stunning. Like it's wildly poetic, it's beautiful, it's incredible. Um, if you haven't, and if you are not on the Rolling Out the Welcome Mat, Kelsey Ballerini EP, you are missing everything right now. That is the
Absolutely.
go-to. What else am I like in? What is in rotation right now? It's funny, I don't listen to a lot of music anymore. It's like a really weird thing that I think when I'm writing, I try to not listen to things because then I get
Mhm.
tied up in that. Um, and then honestly, the American Heartbreak Zach Bryan record is still like living rent
Yeah.
free in my head. His All My Homies Hate Ticketmaster live set from Red Rocks is also outstanding. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's like right there. I think that's it right now. I feel like that's what I've had in rotation. I listen to myself a lot because I like to just, get the streams. So if you want to listen to Parker Graye,
So yes, go into Spotify, Apple Music, all of the streaming platforms. Listen to Parker Gray. And if you get tired, you can always turn it down, just let it keep playing for a while, and then turn it back
yeah,
up. And
exactly.
yeah, take a phone
Exactly.
call, whatever, turn it back down. Keep it playing.
Precisely. Oh my goodness.
Oh, tell me something on your bucket list.
Oh, I really want to play Red Rocks. That is like, there's again something energetically about that place that seems so magical. And every time I watch Maren Morris's set from there, I cry. Like I bawl. I just sob. I don't know what it is. And when everybody's singing My Church, I like lose my mind. Um, so I would say that I really want to play Red Rocks. Oh my
All right.
gosh.
Well, when you play Red Rocks, make sure you let me know in advance because I'd like a
I
front row
will.
seat to that for sure.
I will.
Um,
Done. Also
I that is
done.
like one of those venues you just want to go to like every concert to. Like, I mean, it's just such a
I know.
cool, like, I'm hoping we get there this year, next year. I don't know. Just to even if we don't get to see an actual concert, even just to tour it, it just
I know. It
yeah,
looks stunning.
like the Ryman and some of those other places they're just like iconic like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm, awesome. So if we made a movie about your life tomorrow, do you have an actress that you would want to play you?
Oh, I'm so bad at this. Um, I'm the worst when it comes to pop culture stuff. Like
I'd be like
all
the
my
girl that played in that movie. You know that girl.
that honestly, that's how I am.
Yeah.
The only thing, the the only person that I could even name because I've been confused for her at the airport like three times is uh Zoe Grace Moretz. And I think it's just because we have a round face and a gap in our teeth, but I've been mistaken for her three times and like wildly apart. And I'm like, I don't know. So maybe her.
Okay, fine. We'll get her to play you because there's some similarity.
Sure.
Okay, so if the zombie apocalypse happens tomorrow, do you have a game
Okay.
plan?
No, take me. I'm not trying. Like, I'd like to think logically that I would have this, like, I'd be like, get everything, we're getting out of here, or like have this like weird ability to like fend them off.
Yeah,
I'm not. I don't think I have it.
I think it depends
No
on the day for
plan.
me.
Pardon me.
It's for me, it's going to depend on the day. I think It's gonna be
Right.
like, is it one of those? I'm like, I'm tired today. Okay, let's just do this. Get it over with.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the leader of the zombies. Okay.
Yeah. So funny.
Oh, tell me something you would never do.
Mm, my goodness. I would never go skydiving. Ever. Ever. I watch videos of that on TikTok and I just think it's a death sentence. I'm sure it's all checks out, but like I also don't. I recently discovered that I have a little bit of a fear of heights as I've gotten older, and I've never really like that's never been a thing.
Mhm.
So I don't. I think I would no. I would never skydive ever.
Okay, bungee jump.
No, no
Don't go
big
bungee
deal.
jumping.
Yeah.
I feel the fear of that one because we just saw. I just to mention this too, on another interview. TV had this guy that went on vacation. I don't even know where it was, and he was bungee jumping, and like the last 3 to 4 feet before, like you get to the water, he like the bungee broke, and I'm like, oh my god, it's a good thing they slowed down by that time, But I'm like, no, I think I'm not gonna do
No,
that either. Like,
absolutely not. No. Nope.
okay, so let's go to something a little more morbid. And hypothetically, if I called you and said, "Hey Parker, I need to hide a dead body. Do you know a good place?"
No. I mean, we live in British Columbia, so there's lots of land out here that you could probably, you know, toss it in.
Just
But
toss it in a land somewhere.
yeah, like I feel like there's probably people who live further north who are just on like land that could be like, yeah, I know like tons of places.
Or
I'd be
just wait
like,
for the zombie apocalypse and be like, throw the body.
precisely, precisely. No, I got no good recommendation. I'd be like, call somebody else.
Thanks for I appreciate the honesty. That
Yeah.
goes a long way. Yeah. Oh, so what is something that you are afraid of other than heights and obviously bungee jumping, jumping on perfectly good airplanes?
Um, I'm really afraid of not pursuing my dreams, honestly. I think that we are given such a short amount of time on this earth, and I've almost not done this many of times. And there's many of times and many of days where I've woken up and been like, I don't like I'm not good enough. I'm I don't have the skill set. I'm not this person. I don't have this deal or whatever. And um I like the thought of waking up one day and being like 75, sitting on my rocking chair in front of my house and being disappointed in the things that I didn't do with the time that I have, that eats away at me. That absolutely eats away at me. Like I would say that's my biggest fear over anything. It's, yeah, it's kind of sad.
No, not really. It's the fear of regret. Like you don't want to
Yeah.
regret not living,
Yeah.
not trying.
Yeah.
No, totally get that.
Mm.
Okay, so did you go to karaoke with me?
Yeah, of course. I suck at karaoke though.
Oh, so
I
then it's gonna
do.
be great because I'll be pitching
Okay.
off key and it'll be great. We'll just have some drinks and pretend that.
Perfect. I
Yeah.
always pick the worst songs too, because I like to think I'm funny. And then I turn it into like this comedy special, and it's not good for it. Everyone's like, stop it. What would you sing? Do you have a song?
I'm not sure. I'm
Okay.
kind of like I like the like 90s, like, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Down to Twist and
Okay.
Shout. Something with like upbeat, that's not
Okay.
too too
Not too
much up or
serious.
down, or just kind of, I can keep, yeah.
Easy to get through.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it.
Not saying I wouldn't try to do something more exciting, just not going to try to go all out and,
Yeah.
belt a Celine Dion song like that. I know
Yeah.
would probably be a bad option.
Nobody
Um,
needs to be Mariah Carey. We
yes.
got
So
it.
yeah. So if I'm doing Celine Dion, I guarantee it's probably on like, I'm lip syncing.
Got it. That's great. I mean, that's fun.
Why not? It's gonna be fun. You're
I
gonna be
love it. I'll be
entertained.
there.
Like I'll do some dramatic arm movement and fall off the stage and it'll be funny and
Perfect.
the music will still be playing. You'll be like, wow, that's impressive. She can still sing while she's like upside down on her head. And
I
yeah.
love this.
Oh, so if you could be any person, like Dolly Parton, or a
Hmm.
position like CEO, president, record label executive, I don't know, whatever you would want to be, what or who would you want to be for one day and why?
Hmm. Oh man, that's so tough. Um, I would, this is so random. I would want to be like someone, and I don't even have a specific one, but like I would want to be like someone who discovered something for the first time. Like someone who discovered that the light bulb, like either like Albert Einstein or like if it, like anybody who is in a moment where they just like the thing happened and they've changed the trajectory of our future. Like I just think that there's this level of brilliance in those people's minds that I just don't understand. I've also never been like a math science person. So to be able to like be in someone's head and like experience what connecting the dots would be like, I
That
think
would
it'd
be
be
pretty
really
cool.
cool.
Mhm.
It's so random. So random.
No, no, and I think about what you were saying that I was like, okay, so you have like Edison with the light bulb, right? Things like that, the different, electricity, the ACDCs
Yeah.
it's just the different things like that with Tesla too. I think about those people and I'm like, yeah, how many times they failed, but they had the ideas, it's just
And they just kept going.
mhm.
Like that level of tenacity and ability to be so persistent for one specific thing is like, and I guess
Yeah,
like we all have that in our own right and in our own thing, but that for those things, I think is just incredible. Yeah. Wild. Smart people.
absolutely.
I don't know what's how all these smart people exist.
Right? Oh, so tell me, do you live by any words of wisdom? And if so, what are they?
Oh yes. Don't believe everything you think. And one of my mentors a couple of years ago told me that, and it really shifted my mindset on how I view myself. And your thoughts are just thoughts, and they are not reality. And those negative thoughts and patterns are constantly going to come up in your life in every part of your life. And
Mhm.
it is up to you whether or not you choose to act and believe on those things. And ever since I heard that, like every time I have like a negative kind of thought, I have to be like, you don't believe everything, like, don't believe everything you think. And that has changed my life in a lot of ways. So I would say that
So that's a great
it's a
moniker to
good
follow.
one.
That just, yeah,
It's a good
I was
one.
just reading a book recently, and it was Bobby Bones. And this is it's a few years old. It's probably from 2015, 14, something like that, 16 maybe. And I finally just got around to reading it. Yeah, and it was funny because one of the things he's like, how do you say it? He said something about how you'll suck until you don't. In other words,
Yeah.
keep going at it until you don't suck anymore. You're gonna suck at
Yeah.
everything, and it's okay because we all suck at it. Like
Yeah.
it was just funny the way it was explained in the and I'm like, that's a good way of looking at it. I never, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the
There's a
same
thing we
theory
say,
when you learn
there's
to
a thing we
walk.
say in, yeah. There's a thing we say in CrossFit, and it's get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because so much of fitness in all regards is just about being uncomfortable because it's
Mhm.
you might feel like you're not doing something right or it's heavy so it's hard or you're tired or whatever else, and that's been something that not just in like the realm of fitness that has like definitely um made its way into all aspects of my life. And so often like if I'm saying something or putting out a bad idea or what I think is a bad idea or anything
Mhm.
else, it's like you're just going to be uncomfortable for a second and it's going to pass. Like just get comfortable in that because that's generally when we like break through and like
Yeah.
have a moment of growth, right? So yeah, those two
Unless your
things.
knees like way over your ankle, then don't do that.
Yeah, unless your
That's
femur
bad.
is out of your body, then yeah, maybe stop.
Oh, I will say that's one thing when it comes to CrossFit and any kind of physical like that. That's usually my concern is, am I doing this the right way that I'm not going to totally injure myself and,
Yeah, right.
regret this?
That's most
Because
people's.
yeah, that's my clumsy nature though too. So yeah, I try.
Oh,
Oh, That's okay. We'll take a yoga class one day and we'll just video it because it's
Perfect.
just gonna be
I
funny.
love it. I love
We'll
it.
just do it with goats or something.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
puppy
goat
yoga and goat
yoga.
yoga.
Puppy. I have 6 dogs. We can just come to my house and do yoga.
Oh
It'll
my
be
God,
fun.
perfect. I love this.
No. So tell me, what do you have coming up for the rest of this year?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm waiting on this visa so I can make the move down to Nash, which is super exciting. We have a couple more singles coming out for the rest of the year, which are also really exciting. Really, just like I'm really looking forward to putting out more music and
Yeah.
seeing how it lands. Um, and then in August, I got asked to come play Boots and Hearts for the first time on the Friday, which is really rad because that area is like my backyard. I grew up there. It's going to be kind of like my first hometown show. And playing Boots and Hearts is like, it was on my bucket list for years. And it's a freaking honor to be on that lineup. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, and then just working on new music for next year. It's kind of crazy to think that it's only March and I'm like, I'm thinking about January. But we're just gonna keep this sad train going and
Yeah. And if
keep
you're interested in
friends
writing
out.
Christmas songs, now's a good time.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, I was gonna do a Christmas song this year and I kind of regretted that I didn't. So I'm definitely doing one next year, I think.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be looking for your new music and maybe we'll get a chance to catch up when I hit Nashville and you're in Nashville.
Yes, I would
And
love
that'd be
that.
awesome. Yeah.
I would love that so much.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. And you're welcome back anytime, Parker.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. And
Oh,
thank you for doing what you do because if you didn't do what you do, there's lots of people that would have no idea about us as artists. So thank you so much.
well, it's my pleasure. And everyone, make sure you go check out the links and follow Parker on all of her socials and catch up with her all of her new music. And as well as don't forget to keep streaming it. Hint, hint. Go to Spotify again, Apple, wherever you let stream your music and keep streaming it over and over. Okay, thank you. I know the public service announcement keeps getting said, but it has to
Love
be.
it. Love it.
Oh, well, thank you, friends, and you have a great day. If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.